Monk punch, monk smash. It's funny because I don't wear sunglasses ever because they're actually bad for your eyes. Yeah, even in intense sunlight, go figure. Except I've been wearing them in my videos, so I figured, hey, here's what I really look like. Shocking. Anyway, wanted to tackle a question I got from a few viewers. You know, all 7 of you. But seriously, if you get things out of this, feel free to share them. I do all this for free, and the point is, I love doing it. But I think there are things these can be used as resources to benefit people, and that's my goal is to bring people to a degree, or as I'm learning about myself and my limits, and how really there aren't any limits, they're just perceived limits. I'm learning these things that empower myself, so if it can empower you, cool. And if you think you can empower someone else, go for it, share it. I don't care. It's free. It doesn't come from me. It comes from God anyway. So share it. Well, one of the questions I got from a few people, so I figured I'd tackle it this week in this week's longer vid, was how to get more drive. How do I get more drive? How do you get more drive? And um, really, you don't need to look at it as something you get more of. I think this is the thing that really unlocked it for me. That really got me out the door and going and doing all this crazy stuff that I do now. Um, it's not about getting more drive. It's about unlocking the drive that you already have. You have unlimited drive inside of you right now. You just got to learn how to hack it, unlock it, and get into it. Um, so it can be related to fitness because, again, most of the videos I've been doing, most of the stuff I've been talking about recently is related to fitness. That's that's what I'm really into right now, among other things. But it doesn't just apply to fitness; it applies to anything. You can apply to unilaterally. That means across the board with anything you're trying to accomplish, any goal you have in your life. You just have to unlock it. You realize you have that potential, you have the drive, you have the get up and go inside of you already. You just got to tap into it. So then the question is, how do you tap into it? I mean, the main thing is creating habits. Because what you have to remember is when you hit that block or when you hit that, oh, I don't want to do that, whatever, what's really going on, if you want a sort of scientific explanation, is your amygdala, which is your brainstem, kind of your old brain, is getting confused with your flight or fight responses. And now, as modern human beings in the West, our flight or fight responses are all screwed up. They're all jacked up. We don't regulate our hormone levels the way we should. We release stress hormones, you know, huge amounts of stress hormones when we're sedentary most of the day, and it completely messes up our wiring. And that's why fitness and being mobile and learning how to breathe is very important. But that's another topic. But essentially, what's going on is when you don't feel that drive, is your fight or flight response through your amygdala, through your brainstem, is shutting you down. And so you have to get in the habit of overriding that. And once you override it, again, it gets easier. And this goes with anything. It's not just fitness. It can be with anything. Like this week, I've been really good about my fitness, but I've been off this week and I've been really bad about getting down and getting into my writing. And so it's, again, applying the same principle, but, hacking into my amygdala, hacking into my brainstem and being like, hey, why am I shutting down in this area and going in that area? So I have work to do on myself in that area. Just as some of you are asking about it. But the thing I would say is the most important, you just develop those habits. And once you get over it, you begin to override it, it just becomes part of who you are. And I'll be real with you, like when we're talking about the fitness stuff, I don't feel great. Probably, I work out on average 6 days a week, and it's pretty intense. Usually an hour, sometimes more than that. It just depends on what I'm training for. Um, but yeah, probably. So if I'm working out 6 days a week, and sometimes I go 7. I mean, I just did 72 days in a row without a rest day. Um, I'd say probably 4 out of the 6 days, I don't feel like doing it. To be honest, you don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing it when I get out there, especially if I'm going for a run. Like I don't even feel good on the run until I get 5, 6 miles in. Then all of a sudden I'm like, eh. So it's like me fighting for 45 minutes, just being like, and just getting through it. And then all of a sudden, boom, you wake up and it feels good. Um, so if you feel that resistance, don't worry. It's again a program. It's programming, it's hacking into your system and overriding it. You using your mind, your will, your emotions, and really yielding to your spirit saying, hey, you can do this, and you're not subject to this impulse, this other impulse that has been programmed by outside influences your whole life. You learning how to hack that and be the master of your mind and your body. That's what it really gets down to. So I would say create habits, and then through those habits, if you persist in the habits long enough, it will become just part of who you are, and it will get a lot easier just to go out and do it and really go out and do it even though you don't feel good. So the way it works for me with the fitness stuff is I don't feel good. I don't feel like doing it because usually most of my workouts come at the end of my work day. If I'm doing 2 a days, I'll do one. I'll get up at 3:34 in the morning, do one before work all day, and then do one again at the end of the day. It just depends on what I'm training for. But I'm doing them at the end of my long work day. I have a very stressful job. I don't really feel like doing it, but the way it works for me is I associate with how I'm going to feel at the end of my workout, and I use that as my motivation to get me through the workout, and it helps get me going when I don't feel like I want to do it. And when you do that long enough, it just becomes autopilot. You do it automatically. So building that habit, and the habit, again, you do it long enough, it becomes part of who you are, and then it's just something you do. So that's how it works for me. And again, it applies to anything, not just fitness. It can apply to any area in your life. You just got to create an association to where it gets you through it. It becomes a habit. And then once it becomes a habit, it's just part of who you are. It's part of what you do. But everything you need to get there is already inside of you. It's just a matter of tapping into it and unleashing it, and then sharing your gift with the world. And so when I say don't be a wuss, just get up and do it, that's what I mean. Because you gotta just get up and do it, because literally you're overriding programming you've had wired into you from all these outside sources that have tried to make you powerless your whole life. So take the power's inside of you already. You're just channeling it in the direction of the things you want to do instead of having it diverted into all these 10 million other things the world's telling you have to do. You don't have to listen to those voices. And when you get up, you take the reins, you do it for yourself. It's like a vertical flow. It's powerful. It'll empower you. It'll empower the people around you. And it might offend a lot of people too, but that's all right. But you'll feel that, and just taking control of one area in your life, you'll feel it, spread into other areas of your life. And it's cool. So that was my vid for today. How to get more drive. Just remember, you don't get more of it. You have it all already. 2, you just got to tap into it by developing habits. 3, develop rewards, associate the pain with something positive. And then the last part, I didn't talk about this much, but when you hit a wall, you're going to hit a wall. Expect that you're going to hit a wall. Expect that there's going to be some pain and discomfort. That means you're growing. So when you hit the pain and discomfort, when you hit a wall, run head first through it and don't worry about it. It's all part of the process, man. So love you guys. This is Monk, and I'm not on the nipple cam today. Peace.